The next 1 hour, I am helping one of a client in recruiting for a human resource officer position. And we have already shortlisted, so we have about a couple of candidates that we want to look through. It's a group of companies, and therefore the idea is that to bring on board somebody who is going to handle all the human resource of about 100 employees. So it's a medium-sized, small scale business. And I remembered about the Texan attitude. People from Texas, the folks in Texas are known to be people who do it big. So it brought in mind the idea of the power of thinking big. The Texans only, whenever they do anything, they want to do it in a big way. They want to do it large. They want to make towering, memorable advertisements. They want to do huge attractions. They like to do things in an oversized way. That is a Texas way, which is exactly how they like it. So that brought into my mind the idea of thinking big. What you and me can do when we go out every day in terms of thinking big to be able to make a change in what we do. One of the first lessons of thinking big is be human. It means that at the end of the day, you are a human being. At the end of the day, you treat people as you can. Whether you are in a leadership position, you must give everybody the benefit of doubt. Have patience. Remember that most people go deep into the work they do. Most of the people have the beauty of grace. So be a conversational, or be generous with your conversation, especially when you're interacting with people. The second lesson of thinking big is thinking that it is possible and you make it so. Believe it can be done, and it will be done. Believe it cannot be done, and it cannot be done. So this is a classic example of when you must go out and have the idea that when you come across challenges are opportunity to perform and become better. When you think it cannot be, it cannot be. But when you think it is possible and it can be done, this will be possible. So start by thinking the mental attitude that it is possible and you can do it. Third lesson from the Texans is that ignore the haters. Simple advice. Remind yourself that in life there will always be somebody who is a downer. When they get into the conversation, they are a gossiper. They speak behind your back. And somebody told me, anybody who backbites you, it means they are in the back. They are not in front of you. So they are backbiting you because they are somewhere behind you. So plainly ignore the downers, the gossipers, the naysayers. When they throw a gossip your way, change the subject or walk away, or simply nod and say, oh, I see. Oh, I see. Even if it's a family member, remember, we can't choose family. We may choose friends, but sometimes you can't choose family, and you may find that majority of the people who might let you down will be family. So ensure that you just ignore. Be neutral, support them, but do not be participant in the gossip. The third lesson that we can learn as we walk into this journey is one step at a time. Always take it one journey at a time. I remember a story of a gentleman in Kenya who used to work for the military, and he was an Air Force pilot, and later on was employed by one of the companies that own aircrafts. And then he fell into Mount Kenya, a forest, for about a week plus. And he was saying that he was surviving a day at a time. At one point, he claimed to have consumed the urine from his body because of survival. When you are stuck in a situation that looks insurmountable, the power of thinking big reminds you to take it one step at a time. The story is also told of a gentleman who parachuted in World War II from a crippled army transport plane into the forest, and he had to walk 140 miles, trek over the mountains in heat and in monsoon rains. And in the first 1 hour, his foot got pricked by a nail, and he now had he had a foot that was swelling. But he convinced himself that he could not give up, and he took it a day at a time. Every day he walked using his compass, because he knew the next village could be around 140 miles away. So take it one step at a time, one step a day, and you are going to manage. Finally, the last lesson about thinking big is do more, not less. And most importantly, take time to think. If you want something done, somebody said, give it to a busy person. So the idea is that even when you are working, do as much as you can for the day and not less. In the military, they always say that they wake you sometimes in very crazy hours in the morning, especially when you are doing practice. And this is basically to develop your mental capabilities to handle harsh environments. And it pushes you to do more in less time, so that even when you go in normal circumstances, you can be able to survive. So do more for less in terms of performance. Sometimes being busy does not mean that you are always efficient. So until we meet next time, remember, go and have the Texan attitude. Think big.